David Sinclair Smith said, do you feel that the kilting industry, and Scottish tourism in general, for that matter, is influenced by media representations, even the inaccurate ones, i.e. videos like Braveheart, Rob Roy, Outlander, etc.? And if it is, do you find sales of certain items increasing or decreasing following the popularity of such media releases? So in other words, does the industry react to kilts and Celtic stuff in popular media? And if it does, how fast, how much, which way?
Yeah. Much like venom, it's a symbiotic relationship. A parasite, if you will. Yes, Spider-Man venom.
Got it.
Yes, one feeds off the other. If people weren't excited about Outlander, about Rob Roy, about Braveheart, about all of it, about the fantastical versions of it, then, then if those movies flopped and those shows flopped, then it would stop happening. Does the Scottish tourism industry benefit from that? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do women's romance novels benefit from that?
Oh, boy.
Absolutely. I may or may not have been a model. No, I wasn't. They would never want me as a model. So yes, it's one of those where it's hand in glove. It's one benefits the other, and because it benefits the other, then more people want to do the thing. So it's a trend to some degree.
It's symbiotic.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic
as opposed
relationship.
to parasitical.
It's both symbiotic and parasitical.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it comes
Hollywood
to mind. The clear example was when you were at Clava Cairns in January, and you mentioned how people had been leaving offerings of flowers and things at a couple of the stones there because of the whole Outlander thing.
Oh, Jamie Fraser, come take me through the stones. Oh, I miss you, Jamie. Come to me.
Yeah. I don't think that they're quite that.
They may be. Who knows?
I'm sure there's some Outlander fans who don't have a very good grip on reality. I suspect most of them do, and for them it's just a lark.
We apologize to Outlander fans who enjoy the show and who are not of such thing.
Yeah. So anyway, totally lost my train of thought. The point is, I think it's a good and bad relationship. It is, I don't know if it's a necessary relationship, but it's absolutely been a thing for like over 100 years now. I mean, spoiler alert, or, watch this space alert. We have just wrapped up filming a new video on the history of the cinema and how it relates to Irish identity. And that is a very interesting saga and an example of how popular media and the gaze of the outside world has affected things in the native country and vice versa. So whether it's Ireland or Scotland or someplace else, I think that sort of thing is always happening in the global cultural market, shall we say. Do we see immediate benefits from it? Usually, yeah. I mean, like Braveheart, we know, and we've discussed this before, is responsible for a lot of the boost in the popularity of kilts that started in the 90s. And things like the creation of the Irish county tartans. And it's because all of a sudden, that movie really, really got to people, and suddenly, boom, kilts and Gaelic culture was on the map. So I think you have to admit that it's had a positive impact more than a negative impact. Mm-hmm. What forms it takes can be very interesting. I think it's usually more vague as opposed to more specific. Like, I think there are more people who are interested in kilts and stuff, say because of Outlander and seeing the images of people looking awesome in kilts in their 18th century gear, versus wanting to specifically have the Fraser tartan they invented for the show. You know what I mean? It's a vague kind of like, ooh, this is cool, as opposed to I have to have exactly that. It's not like you see more people getting into kilts because of it than people wanting to cosplay Jamie Fraser.
Yeah, agreed.
Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I love, Dr. Rosie Wayne. She gave me the she connected two dots for me that were like this close, and I just never connected on myself. It's the confluence of culture and commerce. Right. It is the things that feed each other. So think of it this way: the tourism industry in Scotland it's a huge industry. People will always want to see where their ancestors came from. Mm-hmm. Period. However, the industry in general has gotten a huge boost from Outlander in recent times. It's gotten a huge boost from Braveheart and Rob Roy in the 90s. And it's very interesting. I want to eventually write a book on this particular thing, or at least make enough notes to come up with an essay. I don't know. On how culture influences commerce, and then commerce influences culture, and how they go back and forth. Another one that popped in my head when you were talking about the history of Irish cinema, not about cinema, but about Ireland, is St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
St. Patrick's Day in Ireland in the 1950s was nothing. It was a religious holiday. There was nothing open. The stores are closed. You went home and you did nothing. In America, it became a big celebration. It became a party. It became parades. It became drinking. It became green beer. It became all these other things. And it was because of the diaspora going to Ireland, like, oh, well, what's going on for St. Patrick's Day? Nothing. Well, this sucks. So then they said, oh, well, there's money to be made here. And then exporting Americanized, Canadianized, whatever versions of St. Patrick's Day back to Ireland to make it a party where it was just a sanctum. It's a religious no, what's the word I'm looking for? Not sanctimonious, whatever. It's a religious holiday, period. It was nothing of a party until the outside forces made it a party, and then said, hey, we can make this a party and then make money off of the thing. So now it's a party because of the people that came in and did it different. So it is a way that, the outside culture influenced the inside culture. It's not necessarily a good thing. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's what happened. And it's interesting to me that the outside forces affected the inside in the same way that the inside can affect the outside.
I think there are a lot of other factors at work in any of these situations, especially with the situation with Ireland. Talk about the grip of Catholicism on the country and how that's changed over the past 30 years. That's a big topic. But I think it's a double-edged sword, but it's basically what happens when you have a global economy and the global marketplace of ideas, shall we say. I'm trying to think more granularly. Like, is there anything that we've seen that's been a definite fallout from media that has been a big influence on the industry? I think there is definitely more interest in 18th century and early fashion styles because of Outlander the last few years. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of that in the background with tweedy stuff and weathered tartans becoming more popular in the last few years. I mean, it's a combination of maybe that immediate influence and also people just wanting something more earthy because it feels more natural and restorative than bright colors like Grandpa used to wear, But I don't know. Can you think of anything specific?
Yep.
What?
Great kilts.
Oh, of course.
Everything you said, I agree. Whether it's tweed, whether it's Victorian styling, whether it's a penchant for something old, whether that's the Downton Abbey effect, the Peaky Blinders effect, those kind of things, and then pre that time period as well. Everything old is new again. People want to go through the fashion. They want to go be the peacock, the head peacock amongst the peacocks. So there's absolutely that. In the other way, directly, Outlander, I think, and period pieces like that, looking back further, have definitely affected how great kilts have been perceived in the marketplace, and people wanting to wear a great kilt. And then once you own something that costs $500 freaking dollars, you're like, I need to find more, or $300 or whatever it costs. I need to find more things to wear this to. I'm not going to just wear it for this. So I'm also going to, let me try playing around with it and wearing it with a t-shirt, or wearing it with these hiking boots, or wearing it with this, or going it to the store in it. And you want to play with the pieces of kit that you have in your wardrobe already. And because I think there's honestly very much a financial, I've already spent the money, I already have it, let me just do it with other things and see what happens. Plus it's the acceptance of different modes of dress and people dressing and wearing different things than are traditionally worn, all that are all these waves kind of converging at the same time to influence current day culture, whether it's Victorian stuff, whether it's cosplay stuff, whether it's great kilts, whether it's, men in skirts kind of thing. It's all these things simultaneously coming together right now. 2024 is the year to kick ass. I don't know. That was the apex of my speech there.
What?
I don't know. I went off the rails.
A little bit.
Okay. Too much coffee.
It's okay. I guess we sort of just begged the question.
Yes.
I think my final shaggy dog thought would be that specifically on that is that, yeah, I think Outlander, we all, and y'all out there probably already knew that the Grey Kilt was worn with more interesting stuff like doublets and jackets and shirts and things. But I think in the popular imagination, they thought Grey Kilt and they thought Braveheart. They thought Grey Kilt and they thought barbarian, rough and tumble warrior with a big sword. And suddenly people are like, oh, wait, you mean you could wear this thing and look kind of sharp or kind of elegant and still kind of warrior-ish. So it introduced a nuance which made it easier to wear and sparked the imagination to do the modern use of the Grey Kilt as a casual thing. I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So,
but it all feeds. It's. I just love how the intersectionality of how one thing feeds off of the other, feeds off of the other, and then you have these waves of things that affect the fashion in this tiny little niche that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're still in a tiny little niche in the world, but bigger fashion trends can affect this niche in the same way that the other things in the niche affect each other. So, Hollywood obviously plays a part in the way that Highland wear is portrayed across the world. So, what I want to know is, has it affect how you dress in Highland wear? And if so, what part of your outfit have you changed or have you embraced because of a particular movie? And what movie was it that made you fall in love with a particular look?